Hi everyone, Professor Phil Travis here, and here we are in Bayeux. Behind us is the Bayeux Cathedral. This is a Norman Romanesque / Gothic style cathedral. I say that because it wasn't original Gothic, but by the 1200s it was made to be a Gothic cathedral. The Normans, of course, were original Danes or Vikings, followers of King Rollo, who settled here in Normandy in northern France. And because they were originally Norsemen, they created their own unique culture. They assimilated with the culture of France. They ultimately would, of course, invade England with the infamous Battle of Hastings, or the famous Battle of Hastings in 1066, when William the Conqueror conquered England and began a cultural assimilation that really created modern England, from its languages, to its governing structure, to the structures that they built. And so it's very interesting because, of course, this is a very different type of church architecture than you would get in some other places. Because the Normans were sort of a unique cultural group with, of course, a heritage to the Vikings, the Norsemen. You find here in this church inside, you find images of dragons, of knights smiting dragons. You find gargoyles on the church. The crypts inside of the church are quite fascinating to go into. It is a really fascinating, in a lot of ways, it is stereotypical to what we might think about when we think about the Middle Ages. When you imagine what, the creators of famous television programs and so forth might have gotten some of their influence from a cathedral like this, which this structure, as we see it, was founded first in 1077, though it was destroyed and it went through some changes, making it more of a Gothic cathedral by the 13th century. And of course, you can see just up here the flying buttresses that are associated with the Gothic cathedrals. And of course, inside you have the vaulted ceilings. Now, another interesting fact here in Bayeux, this medieval Norman town, or in Normandy, in northern France, which has a long history, longer than even the Normans, I might add. We're in a medieval fair here, and it's July 7th, 2018, and we've come here at a very convenient time because there's a medieval fair going on. And if we walk around here, you can kind of hear the music, and you can see the people in just a little part of this medieval fair. You have people selling live chickens, you have blacksmiths forging steel, you have people selling swords, you have folks dressed up as minstrels, folks dressed up as knights in armor. And so it's a really fun time to be here because it's a little bit different than any other medieval fair, because you're actually under the shadow of a medieval castle, the one that goes back to the very early High Middle Ages. Indeed, this site for this church goes back even further than that, but a true medieval church with a deep history, not one that is just constructed in the 1300s, but all the way back to the 11th century.